become friends with all these freshmen and like.
Yes, we actually are big on giving advice to freshmen.
I heard.
Yeah, I was telling them.
Do you guys want me to give any?
Yeah, if you have a tip of advice for these freshmen, feel
You
free
can make
to
it
share.
genuine or comedic,
Okay,
or both.
Let me just, because there's a lot of like, there's so many aspects to high school. I would have to say, I have one really good tip. So everyone's gonna be going to football games this season, right?
True.
Especially if it's your first few games. If you're coming in as a freshman, you have to make sure you kind of sit in the back of the bleachers.
No, you're right.
And you have to kind of sit down and just.
Sometimes you'll be with the
scroll on
middle
your
schoolers.
phone. Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
you'll be with the middle schoolers.
Yeah, if you just sit down and scroll on your phone, I can't even tell you how much. Like, I will look back and say that freshman is so, like, it just really improves my social view of that person. You know?
Yes, because they're not ruining everyone else's
So
experience.
I have a different perspective on that. If you are a freshman
Yeah.
and you don't look like you're 12 years old, don't tell people you're a freshman at one of those games. Because, like, you have these upperclassmen. They bully you, and I don't support bullying.
That's why we are big advocates for the John Adams soccer team.
Yes.
Because let's just say, the soccer team,
they'll
they'll make a run at something.
No, because they have some great players. I'll give a name to a couple. They have Enzo Gizzi,
Yeah.
Diego Cabillo, and
You know, his sister, Chipotle, shout out to Lindsay.
facts.
she either does you dirty or she does you right.
Yep.
Mhm.
But
I have to say that's really true.
yeah, and then they also have this third player named Bajuga, who is. I went to a game. This man is. If I describe him any way, I would describe him as a
And don't forget John Adams.
true. No, he's actually incredible.
This man, his name is John Adams.
Wait,
his
actually?
parents,
Yes, no, he's
his parents
incredible.
blessed him.
He's such a good soccer
His
player.
parents blessed him
His
with the
name
name.
is John Adams.
Yes, his
That's
parents
awesome.
blessed him with the name John Adams, and sent him to John Adams High School. Like that's just like
That's incredible.
That's
Like-
just history waiting to happen.
that is like
I mean, maybe.
it's crazy. I don't know.
Yeah. So, any other advice for freshmen?
Give me a sec.
Your freshman year was during the COVID year, right?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Year after COVID. I mean, first year, like,
Oh yeah.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would say one thing.
No, our year
Don't-
was freshman year. COVID year was our freshman year.
Yeah.
Our
I'm
second
talking
semester.
like.
Yeah.
He just had to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Make sure to walk as slowly as possible in the halls too.
So
Because you don't want to trip. You
don't
guys
wanna
heard Addie.
intimidate anybody.
You heard Addie had the logic of running,
No, not running, sprinting.
but Jacob.
He says,
there-
"Get your inner Usain Bolt."
If
in
you
those
don't-
halls.
if you don't sprint-
I suggest barely walking at all.
If you don't sprint, you need to walk slowly so that you don't trip over anything.
And in that way you can get as many people so that you can almost get it so there's like a wall.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I believe something that I remember during my freshman year is, you'd have a bunch of these outcast freshmen. You'd stand up and you just hold their back and you'd be a little line.
Oh yeah.
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 And that really, you build a community.
Yeah.
It's a very intimate moment, If you're craving physical touch, there it is for you.
It really is.
Yeah, so I guess we could go back to the education part.
Actually, wait, that reminded me of something.
Yeah.
I have to say, in school, I'm quite the jokester.
Yes, let's talk about the
Yeah.
type of stuff that you would do.
Yeah, so I don't really know how it came to be. I take a lot of inspiration from my dad, I have to say.
Yes, shout out Kev.
Yeah, shout out Kev.
Papa Kev.
Papa Kev, yeah. He was an incredible trickster.
He's a
jokester.
clown.
He's a clown.
He's a clown.
He is a clown. And I take a lot of inspiration from him. I don't really know when I began. I remember I had Heelys. So I actually, that's another big one.
Talk about that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah, I got this great pair of Heelys.
Oh, Joey!
Okay.
All right, keep going.
So there's Reebok and Heely, co-opted Heelys, red. They look sick, right?
I bet they did.
I wore them in school for a few weeks until I wasn't allowed to wear them anymore. They caught on, but
Wait, what do you mean they caught on?
like
the school told
people
you?
would talk about it. Yeah, they
Yeah.
told me I couldn't. They actually put it in the handbook now. So
No.
yeah, that was me.
So that you have the handbook being rewritten
I
because
do.
of you.
Yeah.
That's
That's
History
yeah.
in the making. So talk about the Heelys.
Yeah, so I started my first kind of joke.
Trend.
Yeah, I started like falling a lot. So the first one I do is I had my Heelys and I literally like threw myself into a trash can at lunch, like just like threw myself and kind of like flipped my whole body.
Were there school nachos in that trash can, or was it empty?
No, I didn't go like in it. I just threw my like
Okay.
into the like so the trash can flipped and then I
Oh,
flipped my
God.
body like. And I just started doing it. I have a friend named Ben. Shout out Ben Marino.
Fun, hilarious individual.
He's
I met him
great.
a lot for the first time
Yeah.
a couple days ago, but
And we both together, we kind of took from each other's energy and built on it. And on April Fools, we actually got about 40 freshmen and sophomores.
of course they're freshmen, right?
Yeah, that's the thing.
They're very freshmen. You're very susceptible,
Yeah.
which could be amazing.
But it's
thing,
awesome.
But it can also
It's
be
awesome.
awful.
Yeah. And we got everyone to basically the width of the hallway, a few layers back, and then everyone fell, like screaming. Like we had the dean of students, the vice principal running out. Then we all just like stood up and walked. There was applause afterwards. That was a
There
good
was
one.
applause.
Was there a little clap?
There was.
If I was there, I would have stood up and started clapping.
It was awesome.
Everyone already was standing joy. They were walking to class.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was
so,
surreal though, I have to say.
I would say something that I really appreciate about Jacob is he's a very bold individual.
Yeah.
Right, in like the best way possible, you know. So, you know, we'd be at the bowling alley and he just starts talking to the people behind him.
Yeah.
You know, it seems like you're really someone that doesn't. At least you
Yeah.
put off that you don't care about.
No, I think I love meeting new people. So
100%.
if I ever have an opportunity to talk to a new person or I have an experience with someone I've never met, I'm always going to take that opportunity. And I think like you could put it like I make friends wherever I go because if you're showing people kindness and if you're showing people interest in like, you know, building a relationship, even in a small moment, they reciprocate that energy. Inspirational.
Yeah, my question is, have you always been that way?
Yeah, I would say
Okay.
it's been
That's awesome.
yeah.
Because I would say that I definitely am. I would say I'm kind of like that in the way, you know, I love talking to new people and
Yeah.
I do it a lot, but it hasn't always been like that. But something that took me a bit to realize, but was really important, is, you know, 95% of the people out there will probably like you.
Yeah.
You know, if you're being yourself, they're not gonna. I would just say most people will like you out there, so you should, you know, be yourself.
Because who cares?
Yeah,
Like, people
you
need to
really-
realize you need to get over yourself at a certain point and
for
realize
sure.
everyone is just human. Why do we care about what other people think? We just all enjoy ourselves and have a good time.
Yes, because part of it is just making memories with the people that you meet. And here's the thing: half the time, it's sad, but you might not ever see them again. So you make that memory.
Exactly.
That's how you remember that person
And how they remember you.
and how they remember you. But
and it's special.
or you can just walk by them and not do anything,
Exactly.
and just
Yeah.
make memories with your like couple friends, and it's just like boring.
And not to
'cause-
say that there's nothing with having a few close friends.
yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm
That
just
could be
saying,
a
like, if
beautiful
you just
thing.
make
Yeah.
memories with those friends, it's like
Yeah.
You're missing out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
exactly.
I would say something that
the memories with random people
Yeah.
go crazy.
We need to learn how to take that leap more often.
for sure. Yeah, it definitely does bother me. You know, if I'm walking by someone, I give them a smile, say hi, and they just
Yeah.
look down. I'm like,
Because how much does it cost to just get
yeah,
someone
you know,
a wave?
and you smile at each
Yeah.
other. You know,
And
It's-
I
it's
have
a
to
little
say,
temporary happiness.
can
out
I
there.
give actually a really great example of this? And
Yes.
shout out to Fat Boys Creamery.
Oh, got Fat Boys
Fat Boys
Creamery.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Overpriced ice cream, but it's all
They
right.
have given me free ice cream or food like twice now, and I've insisted on paying. And they're like, "No, this is on us." Incredible people working there. I'm
Yes.
friends with the people working there. Yesterday, I was like, you know what? I need to get a job.
I
in the
went there
area.
too.
The owner actually came to
And
My work
I'm going to
one
be
time.
working there now. I gave them my
Well,
information.
the owner that worked there came to
Yeah.
my ice cream place. I'm not going to name it names because I don't do shout outs to that place because they don't shout out me.
Yeah,
Let's
that's
just
for
say
sure.
that. And so that happened, and
He's a great
he came
guy.
in there, and we talked for like 20 minutes, and let's just say he put down a whole triple pint of ice cream
Wow.
while he was sitting down next to me. And
He's incredibly generous.
yes, I hope we're talking about the same guy.
I'm sure we are.
I'm sure we are.
No, yeah, shout out Fat
But
Boy.
he came in with all his kids and
Wow.
got them all ice cream, and then just ate, and that was that. I haven't been able to visit him there yet, but
Yeah, I really recommend it. It's
Yeah.
great ice cream.
Yeah. I'm not sure what else we could talk about. Another thing about Jacob, like I said in the intro, is he's also a musician.
Yeah.
So why don't you talk about when that started, and then what
Yeah.
made you wanna
We actually
start?
plugged it on the other episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah. what made you wanna like start producing it? Because that takes that you have to really bold. For
Yeah. So kind of going back to the theater stuff, I've been musically inclined since I was young.
You're an incredible singer too.
I really appreciate that. Thank
Yeah.
you. My mom is a music major, and I've loved music since I was a young kid, you know. And I don't know when, because I've written some like songs, but not really like anything I've wished to put out there.
Yeah.
And towards the beginning of this year is when I really started to get into the idea of bringing this persona and producing music under this persona. It was a big step to take.
For sure. It's a new project.
Yeah, and you're kind of putting a lot of energy into doing something. In that creative process, you have to invest a lot of time into it.
But, like, the benefits that come out of
Yeah.
putting that time in.
Plus, if you really enjoy it.
If you really enjoy it, it's enjoyable. Like, hobbies are important to just being happy.
I mean, obviously they're different, but that's kind of how I view starting this podcast.
Like, even if it's small little things that you keep doing, like, you got to keep doing stuff, or it just is sad.
Yeah.
You'll become sad, and I don't know.
Yeah,
No,
you don't want
100%.
that. So, yeah, you started. How about this? What prompted you to make your first song?
So, I have to say, it was really a joke in the beginning.
I mean, it's
It was-
hilarious.
It was a huge joke in the beginning. And after I made the first one, I was like, this was just completely for, it was for shits and gigs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No seriousness at all behind it. But, I don't know, there's just something in me, I enjoy creating, Even
Yeah.
if it's not with 100% seriousness, I like making something and, like, being able to, like, look back on that.
And share it with people.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
it's just a cool experience to be able to say, I made this,
Yeah, creativity is a beautiful thing. I would say, like, something that I hate is, if you're trying to do something new and someone hates on that.
Yeah. 'Cause-
Right? Why hate on someone for
and
being
why-
creative and doing something that they want to do?
Yeah, why spend negative energy that doesn't
For
need to
sure.
be put out there? Yeah.
So when did you end up making your first song? And how long? How much time did it take?
Yeah, so I think I can't give you the exact month, March, April, maybe
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
And I think more time goes into the technical side of things than the actual lyric writing
Yeah.
and recording. It's a lot more mixing and adjusting levels of volume and stuff.
Which can get really annoying.
It can, yeah.
Let's
Dealing
just
with
say
technology.
Technology isn't
Yeah.
always the easiest.
It's not, especially getting stuff on Spotify.
Oh
sure you know
my
about
god!
that.
Oh,
I'm
don't get me
still
started on.
struggling.
Don't get me started on Spotify, bro.
I'm still struggling.
that was
I have it all set up now, but Spotify is hard.
that was a rough 24 hours.
And there are all these companies that try to get you to work through them to get your music on Spotify, and then they just want to. Like, you can't get any of your.
Like, you have to pay for a
Yeah.
subscription, but
And
I
you
mean,
don't
once
get-
you get that subscription, it makes it easy. But like, I don't want to pay $19.99 a month
Exactly.
just to
That's
get it auto
On
to
Spotify.
post on Spotify.
I
when
wish that Spotify had like upload.
Yeah.
like on the app.
Yeah.
Like on the app, you just hit upload and
Yeah.
it uploads.
And that's
something
why
back.
I've used SoundCloud, because that's how it is on SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or YouTube does the same thing.
Yeah.
You just hit create, but
Yeah.
because now, like on Spotify, I don't know how many followers I have on Spotify.
Yeah.
It just posts on Spotify. I want to know if like
You want to know the analytics? Yeah.
I like the analytics. I like watching
I
stats
do.
because that's like it
It's
shows your
improvement.
improvement, which like I like seeing improvement through things. So like
Yeah.
things like school and stuff is hard for me to like get into because
Yeah.
you don't see those improvements. You just get a test score back that deep down you're like, I don't know the information. I'm just trying to get a good number.
I'm trying to pass.
I'm trying to get a number
Yeah.
instead of getting something that like you can actually see as an improvement.
So what was the sort of like talk about like the day that you posted it, the days after? What was the
Yeah.
sort of feedback that you got, negative and positive?
Yeah, I think I got a lot of positive feedback, especially right after I posted it, because for it being a joke, there's
It's
something
impressive.
to it. There's
It's
something
impressive.
to it. Yeah, I think a lot of the negative feedback comes from just the vulgar language, especially I would say that comes from my parents a lot.
Yeah.
They don't, and I
Your
understand.
parents
that-
listen to your music?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My parents are awesome.
They don't like listen to it, but I've showed them my songs, and I get where they're coming from 100%. I think that when you're making music and you're stepping into that creative space, though, you're kind of letting go. You're in a different
realm.
Yeah, exactly. And it's not like there's something to be. You take the words you're saying with a grain of salt because it's a creative.
Well,
space.
that leads to saying all bark, no bite.
Yeah.
I think I would look
See?
at it more in the same sense as that courts have like now they've ruled that song lyrics can't be used as like evidence. So it's like that when you're writing songs. When
I thought it was the court ruling that they made it so that it was legal.
Oh really?
I thought originally it wasn't legal. Now it is legal because then there was the whole TikTok trend about like Young Thug and a couple other guys getting their court things, court music released. It's based on the state, I think, is what it is. But
okay.
I don't
So
know.
you got a lot of positive feedback. Did you get any negative feedback? I'm curious about
You already
that.
asked that, and he said his parents.
Besides your parents, anyone from people like your peers?
I wouldn't say so. Really.
Yeah.
I think that. Yeah, I don't really think that there was much negative peer feedback.
Yeah, and then I'm curious. What's the future with your music? Like, what do you like?
That's
What's like the dream?
that's actually a really good question.
Like, do
because-
you have a goal?
No, I
'Cause you have
actually.
two
if
songs
you guys
out
were,
now.
It's great that you just asked me that because if I were to pull my notes right now, we have J-Cum future plans. I actually have. You can take a look.
Oh, you have some plans.
I do. So. I'm
That's
not
something.
gonna.
That's something Chips and Chops is lacking. Is we're kind of just going with the flow right now,
But that-
which
that's
is
just
perfectly
started.
fine.
We
Yeah.
just started like a week ago.
Yeah,
so-
I want to thank everyone for the support because low key,
Oh, it's awesome.
we were hoping for 50 to 100 views, and we got 400 to 500 views,
It's incredible.
and it's incredible.
Yeah, after we put out that first podcast, the next day there was an open house at our high school, and the amount of people that I'm not even like friends with necessarily or super close that came up to me and was like, this is awesome. I listened to it. I mean, like that positive validation, like that made. I mean, it just made my day amazing.
Yeah.
So, no, it's really. You can probably relate to this with your music. Like we went into this, and I was definitely self-conscious, and I was like, are people really gonna enjoy this, right?
And you're putting yourself out there.
Oh,
Well, you still
100%.
sometimes you're like, are people gonna enjoy this? And it's like, this is like really good.
Yeah. No, because I've had people, they'll be like, they'll think it's different than other things. That's what I like. I don't want art, I don't want to do something.
Well, because
that's-
there's not many people our age. Most people our age do like SoundCloud rapping, no shame.
Well, not.
But like, no, there's a lot. Like, how many people do you know that have a podcast?
Yeah, I know very few. Especially people our age.
Yeah.
And
And so-
that advertise it and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's great.
No, yeah, I think it's awesome. It's a
Uh-huh.
really fun project. But to have people say that, it's something that I really liked. Someone said that it was like really real.
Yeah.
Because like right now it's literally like we didn't really put that much time into it before
Oh, no.
talking. Like we probably put less than
Not
5
at all,
minutes
Yeah.
about how planning this podcast. Now we're just talking. We're on almost 50 minutes.
No,
just-
we're not.
Yeah, it's just an
Oh,
incredible
God.
conversation.
That's just what happens.
Yeah, no, I
Oh.
love it.
we might have to do 2 parts.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a 2-parter.
Let us know in the comments.
This probably already is part 2 already, but
Oh yeah.
yeah. So you're gonna continue making music though.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna give too much away.
Yeah, for sure.
There will be. I'll get that. Don't worry. Later.
It's
But
It's fine, Joey.
Yeah, this is not.
You can just throw this stuff around.
I don't care.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't want to give too much away, but there will be an album.
Album?
Yeah.
Okay.
There will be an album. I have to say, I'm not gonna again.
Yeah.
The goal is to some point get in contact with Yeet.
Really?
Yeah.
Get in contact with who?
Yeet.
Yeet. The
And
plan,
like, what do you mean by
the plan
in
is to hype
contact?
up the album, and then I'm gonna contact like his team via email and then like Instagram and ask to get if he would like either feature on one of my songs or if I could get like
That would be so cool.
That would be really cool, and I feel like
That's yeah.
that's a good goal.
Yeah.
That's incredible though.
That would definitely be a make it.
And I have
Cool.
like on my phone I have like all of the like outcomes from like worst to best.
Yeah.
Well, worst outcome is you
It's
just
just no
don't get
response.
response,
Chill,
which
yeah.
isn't
I know.
even that
And
bad.
I go through all the cheers too.
Because if you enjoyed making the album, that's
Exactly. No.
that's
that's all that matters.
yeah, we should. I mean, I don't know if we really have our goal.
No, because like we're kind of doing this for it's
our
like a
senior-
project.
I mean,
But
it's
you
like-
can set like it
it's
doesn't
our
have to
senior
be a
year,
big
you know.
goal,
I don't know how long we're like. I would say definitely until the end of the school year. That's what I want to do. But
No, and I love this. Like, I would love to be back. This would be great.
We're gonna have to have you on as a guest host, or just do another part to see a couple months from now what's.
But yeah, hey, if you're interested in like being a guest, hit our lines, because if you're still listening right now, you're a true follower.
That's pretty crazy.
No, that's
like if you're still listening 50 minutes in, like you deserve to be on.
Yeah.
And so if
I don't know if that was hard to follow either.
What do you mean?
This whole.
I mean, no, this is a great conversation.
I don't know.
This is.
But like, if you are like genuinely hit our line, and we'll look into getting you on. We'll talk to our manager.
Yeah, we have a manager, Gabriel. He's a stickler, but
he lets a lot of things slide. Deep down, he can be a nice guy sometimes.
Yeah, he's a little too nice. But hit up our manager, Gabriel. Just hit us up.
Yeah.
No, I mean, to be honest, it's incredible that people would listen to it. 52 minutes of just three good friends having a conversation.
Yeah.
Right. So, I think that was really good talking about your music. So this summer, why don't you talk about? I guess your job.
Yeah. So
I hinted at it in the introduction.
Yeah. I was able to get a paid internship at Notre Dame this year, doing breast cancer research. So
Okay, that's
it was
That's
lot.
pretty big.
It was.
No, that's
it was
that's a really
huge-
important thing.
It was a huge experience. I was working 40 hours a week for 8 weeks, and I ended up with data. Like, I have a poster, very professional. I presented it for about 2 hours.
To like
so
older
cool.
people.
Yeah, to like anyone. It was a symposium, so.
What's
a
that?
lot of it was kind of a gathering where
Yeah.
everyone who was part of it, they all had their posters and people could walk around and
So let's talk about the process and then why it's so important to do that.
yeah. So I
8
think
weeks.
a lot of people hear like cancer research and it's like, what does that even mean? And that was me too before I came in. It's like people say cancer research all the time. Like, what does that look like on a day-to-day basis? Like, what does that actually mean?
Because deep down they've been studying it for 20 years. There's
Longer.
been hundreds of billions of dollars
Yeah.
put into research, and there's still no cure. So it's like,
and the thing is, a lot goes into it because you have to really understand what cancer is and how it works, and that takes a long time. I would say for about the first 2 weeks of my program, I was reading papers. I was just trying to absorb all this information just so I could understand what I was going to be working with and why what I was doing was important and just understand as much as I could.
yeah.
And that takes a long time because it's complicated.
To do 2 weeks, that's 80 hours of just researching cancer.
Yeah, and
That's
then
a
lab
grind.
work too it's a whole new world. You step into a lab, you have no idea what you're doing. It just looks like
Yeah.
sci-fi.
So what was the average day like doing that?
Yeah,
If it's
I
8
would,
hours or whatever it is.
I would come in and I would be there from 8 to 5 because I would have an hour lunch that's not paid.
Yeah.
So I'd come in at 8 o'clock around then, and I would read for probably the first few hours of the morning. I would do lab work in the afternoon, probably read, and I'd have to go back and forth because there's some stuff in the lab that you have to wait an hour, and I'd pretty much do that into the evening, work on the process. I had to set up the poster, I had to write up papers and stuff, forms, and it was a lot of work. I would say it was exhausting.
Worth it in the end?
Oh, 100%.
So I would say what did you get out of it for yourself, and then what did now you can teach others about it?
Yeah, I think one big thing for me is I was really intimidated going into it. I was like, there's no way. You hear all this stuff about cancer, how am I going to ever understand anything about this or make a difference at all? And I think that it was understanding that when you go into a situation, you just have to do, and you just have to learn through experience instead of expecting there to be a book or a guideline written down. Because you could read as much as you want about working in a lab, but until you actually work in a lab, you're not going to have that same experience. And that hands-on is really important to understand what something can mean to you. You could want to be a doctor your whole life, study to be a doctor, but you never actually spend time there. And then once obviously there you.
No, that's what my cousin happened to my cousin. She wanted to be a doctor, and she worked for it for 3 or 4 years. And during the summer, she did an intern thing and didn't want to do paperwork and didn't want to be a doctor at all. And now she's doing something else like successful, which we'll get into when she's on here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a good point because yeah, you can always plan something out, but you might not even enjoy it, and you might as well just try it, see if you like it, and dip if you need.
Yeah, no, that's incredible.
I think that's part of like the question was like, what did that mean to me? It was being able to have that hands-on experience and see if that was something I want to pursue in the future. And I think I can definitely say that because I don't think you can ever say yes, this is what I want to do with my whole life, but it's not something I'm letting go of. I really loved what I did, and I would love to see where it can take me.
Facts.
Yeah, so, we touched on how you're an incredibly smart person, so you're going into your junior year, I know it's in a little bit, but, like, what are your plans for after high school?
After high school, that's a good question.
Do you have any?
Yeah, I mean, it's tough. I don't know, college-wise.
Excuse you.
Excuse me.
My dream school would honestly be Stanford.
I knew
have to
that.
say. The reason why I don't think I'm going to go there is because it's so far. And I have a big thing about, like, I'm really close to my family, so I don't want to go too far.
Yeah, you're a really big community guy.
Yeah.
That shows through all your all your things.
Yeah, so it's really hard for me to go so far away.
Do you know
But
what
I
you major in?
I don't yet. I think it's going to take some time.
Yeah, I think that Jacob's the type of guy that he could go into anything and be wildly successful.
But that also makes it so much harder to choose.
True.
It's like, how
and I don't want to put pressure on you, obviously, by saying that.
Because it's like, then it's like, what do you want to do? Because I would be happy doing so many things. And it's like, how do you make that?
But like deep down, like for me, example, I just like doing something successfully. And so like if someone gives me a task and I do it successfully, that makes me happy.
Yeah.
And I feel like when there's so many options, it's like, yeah, like I could do any of this, and if I know my set goal and what, like, I can figure out how to get there to that goal, and it'll make me happy. But like deep down, it's like what is that?
Yeah,
what is that thing, that path that I'm gonna take? Because I'll get to the end.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of what
if you're
path I want.
satisfied. I mean, for me, I don't know what job I'll do. Or what, I mean, honestly, what I'll even major in for college, I'm thinking communications, but I would want to do a job where I would talk to a lot of new people. Right? So that could be anything. That could be a salesman.
That could be so many things.
That could be a salesman.
media
That could
manager.
be this, it could be, it could be anything.
Yeah. And that's why it's so hard to choose at such a young age.
But we don't have to. Luckily, we don't.
Yeah, we don't. We have time.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what are your plans for this year, Jacob? Do you have anything big coming up? Or what are you most excited for? School's starting up.
I'm really excited just for, I think just the social aspect of school. I love just like seeing people every day,
That's
Facts. Hallways go crazy.
And just like, it's
Just
such
like
a
passing
vibe.
periods. Like
you have these people you see every single day. Oh my.
and if you can enjoy,
Joey, that chair.
Yeah, that chair is
That chair
pretty-
is messed up.
yeah, we're getting to the end. So otherwise, I'll get you that chair right there. But
That was not much better.
yeah, I would say something that I love about school that I don't really get in the summer is it's like you're going to school and I know that for at least one class a day I'm gonna be just like dying of laughter.
Oh yeah.
That's
I
what
love it.
That's
I
just
love
how it
it.
is. You know that one time you're just gonna be
Yeah.
smiling. You're not gonna be able to talk
And
because
you're just having such a good time.
Yeah.
Like,
obviously you should.
And that's what school should be focused on.
yeah. But and you
I
can
would say
learn.
It should be like focused on
that can
the social
enhance
connection
your
and
learning.
learning through each other.
Like you can
rather
learn
learning
through
how
a
to
book.
learn
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yes,
problem solve.
that's a big one. Learning how to learn is a big.
Because everyone learns different, and
Yeah.
You have
Like,
to know how to do.
schools want to say like they're getting more technology based, which is good, but deep down, like we still have textbooks. Like I feel like learning through communication, learning through talking. I feel like more people
It's personal connection.
More people learn through personal connection
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
learning like that. Because you gotta
You
have
have to
that.
care. You
Yeah.
have to care.
You
And
can
if
put
you
as
don't
many
care-
screens in
yeah.
a room, but you're never gonna have that human empathy. You're not gonna have that person who cares about you and cares
Yeah.
about your success. And that's the
Yeah.
way to really connect your kids. If you can make that build a relationship.
Like they say,
Yeah.
group projects like aren't good because like one person will do it, and but
Mhm.
like if you develop a care for everyone and have like
yeah.
a prize or something,
Yeah, especially
everyone's gonna work for that goal
people-
together,
yeah.
and you're
And the-
communicating. You're
Yeah, the teacher's really important too.
It's a
If I have a
huge
teacher
role.
who will talk to me outside of the class. They'll see me in the halls. They'll say hi. You know, they'll ask me how I am. They'll genuinely care about my well-being.
Yeah.
That makes me care about their subject more.
Yeah.
You know, or you have some
And who they are as a person.
for sure. You know, if you can just you don't have to talk about whatever that is that they're teaching history.
That brings
or science.
that brings me into shout out to Mr. McQueen.
Yes, shout out
He
Mr. McQueen.
taught this class. I got thrown into IB environmental science.
And you didn't
And
sign up for it. Did
I
you?
didn't sign up for it. My counselor, I don't want to throw shade on her, but she never gave me the right schedule. And so I have this class, and I was like, I'm just going to drop this, I hope. I go in, and it's Mr. McQueen, and he just, like, made me interested in no offense, but, like, in the environment. Like, I care a lot. I'm not going to do any bad things, but I don't want to study it. And he made me interested in studying it, and I gained a lot of valuable information from it.
Yeah, I had him as
From
well.
a class I just didn't want or care.
That's how it was with me. You know, I dropped a class and I just got put into something random and I didn't really want to try it. And I'm going to be honest, I definitely didn't try at some points. A lot of the points, unfortunately, you know, it was a hard time.
Oh, I bet it was.
A lot of them.
Well, no, I wouldn't say that, but I would say that, you know, in that class, I definitely took a lot away from any other classes that I took last year, you know, because, you know, you can just tell how much he cares. You know,
I have never
I
met a
love
teacher that cares
about
more
someone.
about his. This guy,
Right.
he teaches 10 classes.
And he, you know, what,
There's
like,
only 7 periods. Like, this man had two classes going on at a time.
you know, so imagine how exhausting that would be, right? But I had the 7th period class. This man's still running around the classroom and jumping around.
Which gets annoying sometimes because it's like,
It
let
gets
me
you
just
involved.
relax.
It
But,
gets
like,
you
he's
involved.
so, like,
If
into
someone
it that you have
cares
to
that
be
much
into it.
about something, like
Yeah.
I know.
I admire that so much.
Especially, you know, getting underpaid and underappreciated, you know.
We
Yeah,
can't
because
even
he's
get
getting paid. He's
started.
not getting paid for 2 of the classes that he's teaching.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, teachers.
That goes back to
And then,
our. I mean, Joey, you know how that goes back to how we really became friends. Politics.
We shouldn't.
Interesting.
I don't want the podcast to get into that, but yeah, we definitely.
We were very into like
yeah,
theory less
and
than,
like yeah. So I would let's go to Mr. McQueen. It's like just about how much he cares about people, right? Like what's better than having a teacher is someone who's so important. And he's mastered the way to get people involved. You have to really just...
But that then evolves to just people in general. And if you're working with someone that's passionate about something...
If someone's high energy.
If someone's not even high energy. You can be low energy, but passionate.
Yeah.
Because passion gives energy, which then, like... Because, like, someone could be really, like... not social and all that, and express their energy differently by like working hard with you,
or
and
to make connections.
Yeah, I would say something about Mr. McQueen though is he can connect with anyone. That's important, right? You don't want to just have your own group. You know, you want to, like you know, this whole thing we're talking about meeting new people. You have to be able to connect with people from all sorts of backgrounds, I guess.
And just being a floater, with like I've always loved that about high school is like not having to stick to one friend group and just being able to be friends with everyone, you know.
That's something. Yeah, I mean, I would say I'm lucky I don't go to a school that's super cliquey.
yes.
Being a public school that's not.
We've been doing shout outs. Let's do a downshade, or what would be like on St. Joe.
Well, I wouldn't say that. I mean,
I don't know.
Let's just say it is
stories. It seems like
it's a very cliquey environment.
like you get your group and you stay in your group, and
yeah, this is no shade to the administration there or anything. It's just some of the people.
It's just the way it is. Like you got to realize, like just because you come from the same background, you come from the same thing, so you think you have to be together. But like deep down, like you got to evolve.
It's a very outside perspective. It seems like a very cliquey place.
You got to be able to chop with anyone.
Yeah, which is why
Which we've had a lot of people ask about why we have our name.
Should we shout out Chips and Chops
Let's
too?
just shout out Chips and Chops in general and say Chops make the world go round. Chops is talking with someone.
It's a conversation.
Yep, conversation.
Yeah.
And you got to be able to chop with anyone. And
chopping with anyone it's awesome.
It's awesome.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
Right, meeting or talking to someone. You know, me and Jacob, we might not have that much in common, but we could talk we could talk for hours, right?
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's so cool.
And like even when we went to the fair that time,
yeah,
like we were just introducing ourselves to all these new people and just
Yeah, we went. Jake and I went to the fair, and we probably talked to 100 people that night.
Easily.
Man.
And that's something that like
Ooh,
that night.
Chips and chops was around then.
Right?
Yeah.
Oh my God, the
We
amount
actually-
the amount of
I have a video.
Quickie Fridays.
We witnessed a guy get broken up with, actually.
Oh,
And
God.
then his girlfriend came over to us a few seconds later, and she was like, I don't know what he's telling you, but he cheated on me. And we were just watching this unfold in front of us. And then
That was incredible.
it was a lot, for sure.
But
But even just that act of going out of our way to talk to all these people who, you would never otherwise meet.
yeah, and we had a lot more like. I mean, it made people's days.
It did.
Right?
Like,
To see someone that, they might go, it's the 4-H fair. A lot of people from the Bend are there.
and, yeah.
I mean, other places too, you have, obviously people might go there just to have a fun night and just stick with their own
Yeah.
people, but, we go up to them, you start a conversation, you connect. You
And
leave
then
with a smile.
on that car ride home, they're like talking about you.
Yeah.
And on
You-
your
we're
car
never gonna
ride
see
home,
him
you're
again.
talking about them.
We're
and
never
it's
going
like,
to see him again.
you're never going to see him
Right.
again. But like deep down, like
Exactly.
that's a memory you're going to remember,
Yeah.
and it's just great.
Yeah. How we can both make impacts on each other's lives.
For sure. I can't think of anything else we would want to talk about.
I think this is a great session.
I think
Yeah,
that's
we're
awesome.
we're an hour and 6 minutes in. That's our longest one yet, by a long shot.
Yeah, that's good.
I don't know. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So I love this. Yeah.
We're gonna have you on again. I mean, we have to
Yeah, 100%.
because this was so much fun.
That
yeah.
felt like no time at all. I can't
No,
lie.
it's not like 15 minutes.
No, I have noticed that recording with people like an hour, it's so fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we do a little outro music?
We haven't done outro music yet.
Let's do it.
Why?
Can I play outro music?
Well, that's a wrap. Hey, remember, check in on our socials. Chips and Chops podcast on anything.
Yep. All right. Chips and Chops podcast. We are out.